Good morning, Unity of Greater Hartford.
Good morning.
Thank you. I'm Deborah Giddings, and I am so happy to be here in service with all of you this morning, so Reverend Christine could have the weekend off. So glad to see everyone in the sanctuary and know that so many others are watching on Facebook Live and through our website. We are blessed this morning to have our ministerial intern, Kathleen Kerswig, handling the talk today, and it's titled, What's Next? The Ultimate Highway. So I'm looking forward to hearing that message. Thank you, Kathleen. Woo! In the back of the sanctuary on the corner, there is a prayer candle lighting station, and I encourage you to go back and light a candle, hold yourself or someone in prayer before or during the service, or even after the service. And I thank our prayer chaplains for putting this together and for this reminder that we pray first. When you came into the church, we handed out the Sunday bulletin and also the words to our opening song, and so you should have that. If we ask that you please don't leave it in the sanctuary, take it with you. There is a basket out in the atrium with a big peace sign. If you want to just leave the papers in there, we recycle them. And so we can reuse what we can and then recycle the rest. And for those of you watching online, you can obtain today's bulletin from our website, unityhartford.org. So let's come together now and affirm what we know about unity. It's a welcome affirmation on your bulletin. Together, unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And here at Unity, we welcome, value, and include all people. So again, welcome to all of you this morning, both those in the sanctuary and those watching on our website and Facebook. On our Facebook site, you're really welcome to make your presence known, so greet each other, send up those emojis, make comments, and know that you are a blessing. We do everything with prayer first here at Unity, so let us pray. As you take in a deep breath, breathe in the breath of life and release. In your next breath, feel energized by the power of Spirit and release. And we come together with open hearts in one mind, divine mind. And hold this thought in our heart. As I pray first, I become alive with the spiritual power of life, and I live expectantly, gratefully, and abundantly. As we get ready to go into the silence, hold this thought in your being. Feel the radiating energy of life coursing throughout your body and spirit. And smile. Repeat this in your mind's eye. As I pray first, I become alive with the spiritual power of life. And I live expectantly, gratefully, and abundantly in the silence. As we return from the silence, celebrate life around you. Know that you are a unique expression of the divine. Let your light shine brilliantly and live life as a loving, harmonious, delight-filled experience. For this wisdom and these gifts, we say thank you, sweet Spirit. And so it is. Amen. So now I'd like to introduce to you our music director, Carolyn Fisher, who's going to sing our opening song with us today. We're going to sing.
Yeah, you're gonna, yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan.
All right.
We're gonna see how it goes. Good morning, Unity. All right, so this morning's opening song is I Can See Clearly Now, and if you need lyrics, they should be on the papers that you got when you came in. So I'm gonna invite you to stand if you would like to, if that is comfortable. If you'd rather sit and read your lyrics, totally fine. So let's take a deep breath and sing together this morning. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me down. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Oh yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. There we go. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. One more time. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Thank you, Carolyn, for bringing that about. Good morning, UGH. Woo. And a shout out to Robin Williams. Well, good morning. My name is Kirk Smallage, and I have the privilege to serve as your worship assistant this morning. And we have many, many things going on here at Unity of Greater Hartford. Beginning in May, which we are rapidly getting closer to, we will be holding a great book study class on Monday evenings. Our ministerial intern, Kathleen Kerswig, will be leading this class on the book entitled Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door. Now, if you're going through any change or transition in your life, this is the perfect book and class for you and all of us. This will be a Zoom class held on the first 4 Mondays in the evening in May. And those include May 2nd, May 9th, 16th, and the 23rd. There is a $20 registration fee, and you may register for this class on our website. And today is the last day to purchase a raffle ticket to win a copy of that book. The tickets are $1 each by cash or check, or you can get 6 tickets, for $5. And if you didn't buy your ticket, please buy it immediately after the service today, because at noon today, Kathleen will be drawing the winning ticket. Now, you don't necessarily need to be here or present to win, but if you are, that makes it that much nicer. But if not, then we will call you and also announce the winner in our weekly e-newsletter. Now, those tickets will be available outside in the atrium after. Now, Rev. Christine and the board will be holding a class on the 5 unity principles. Ta-da! And these will be on 3 Sundays in May, and if you're interested in becoming a member, please put these dates on your calendar. They will be May 15th, 22nd, and the 29th. You must attend at least 2 of the 3 classes to be considered for membership. And this class is, of course, open to everyone who also may want to just know a little more about unity in general. There are flyers for this in the atrium, and you also may register online. The class will be held both in person and online, and again, there is a $20 class fee for the class. Now today at 5:30, there will be a celebration of life service for Paul Fire. Many of you may remember Paul. He was at one time the music director for our church here. And it is planned as a concert in his honor and will be held live here in our sanctuary as well as live streamed on our website. And next Saturday at 3 p.m., April 30th, there will be a celebration of life service for George Manu, the husband of our wonderful prayer chaplain, Marie. And after the service, we will be having a cookie and beverage reception, so please feel free to bring cookies with you and to dress in bright colors. And we hope you can join us for that in person, or once again, it will be live streamed to our website. And next Sunday, we will be holding our first potluck in over 2 years. Yahoo! Please plan to join us and to bring either a homemade item or something special from a store. We want it to be a wonderful feast, and we look forward to all of you joining us. And finally, after today's service, please join us in the community room, way in the back through both double doors, and we'll be having some beverages and snacks and a chance to chat with some of you who I see today are new and joining us, and we certainly do welcome you. And now it will be our greeting time, and we ask that you please remain in the pew as we use the Gandhi blessing to greet each other. Now, the Gandhi blessing is meant to be a call and response, so we're going to do just that today. But I also want you to feel free to stand up as you say the response line and take some time to look at others in the sanctuary and speak to them. And at home, you too can stand and bless all in your home and neighborhood and even those of us here. So I would ask you now if you would please stand and repeat after me. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. Our wisdom flows from the highest source. And I salute that source in you. And let us work together for unity and peace. Thank you, and please be seated. And now I would ask you to join me in our statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life. God, the good omnipotence. Amen. And now I have the privilege to read today's daily word, and it is entitled, Gather. And the affirmation is, we gather and magnify the presence of God. As I gather with others in the spirit of love and peace, my awareness of God's presence becomes more powerful. even palpable. Together, we create an energy, a vibration, greater than any of us has alone. I am comfortable and at ease when I notice our different appearances, preferences, backgrounds, and opinions, because I am reminded of the limitless diversity of divine expression and my place in it. When I join in fellowship with my family, friends, and all others who are dear to me, each of us becomes a mirror for the others. We see in one another the divine presence that lives in and expresses as every person. The unifying energy of divine love unites and binds us together. In this love, we are one. And the biblical reference, how very good and pleasant it is when kindred live together in unity. From Psalm 133, verse 1. And again today, our daily word is entitled Gather, with the affirmation, we gather and magnify the presence of God. And with that, I would like to invite Deborah back.
All right. Will the ushers please come forward? As our ushers come forward, I want to remind everyone that we can accept your credit card gift online at our website at unityhartford.org. While checks and cash can be received this morning by the ushers, you may also drop your offering in the giving box in the back of the church after the service. Now, this is a time in our service when we have the opportunity. Bonnie, can you wait just a minute? Bonnie, can you wait just a moment? That's okay. This is the time in our service when we have the opportunity to experience and express gratitude, love, and prosperity, abundance in all forms. We know that when we freely and joyfully give, we're opening ourselves up to the abundance of the universe. So whatever amount you're guided to give, I invite you to take it into your hands or hold it in your heart and bless it with your love. I also ask that you take an intangible blessing and hold that in your heart. A blessing that you wish to see more of expanded in the world. A blessing for our unity community and the world. Something like love or patience, harmony, awareness. And let yourself hold both of these blessings and let yourself feel as grateful as you can to God as your one true source. And then please join me in our offering blessing together. Divine love, flowing as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive, and so it is. Amen. Marty?
Don't know what time it is. I've been up for way too long and I'm too tired to sleep. I called my mother on the phone. She wasn't home and now I'm wandering the streets. I've been a fool, I've been cruel to myself and hanging on to nothing when nothing could be worse than hanging on. And something tells me there must be something better than all this. I've fallen many times in love, and every time it's been with the wrong man. time and doing the best I can. 'Cause we've all made mistakes that seem to lead us astray, but every time they've helped to get us where we are today. And that's as good a place as any, and it's probably where we're best off anyway. And it's a long and rugged road, and we don't know where it's heading, but we know it's gonna get us where we're going. And when we find what we're looking for, we drop these bags and search no more. It's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. It's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. There's no such thing as perfect, and if there is, we'll find it when we're good and dead. Trust me, I've been looking, but tonight I think I'll go and take a bath instead. And then maybe I'll walk a while, feel the earth beneath me. Say if you start looking, doesn't matter if you find it. And who's to say that even if I did, it's what I'm really looking for. And it's a long and rugged road, and we don't know where it's heading, but we know it's gonna get us where we're going. And when we find what we're looking for, we drop these bags and search no more, 'cause it's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. And it's a long and rugged road, and we don't know where it's heading, but we know it's gonna get us where we're going. When we find what we're looking for, we drop these bags and search no more, 'cause it's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. It's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. It's gonna feel like heaven when we're home. Ooh, ooh.
For anyone who didn't hear that, Deborah was going, "Go get him!" So I'm gonna go get you. Okay, thank you, Carolyn, that was beautiful. Welcome to this beautiful Sunday morning. Welcome to Unity of Greater Hartford. I am so blessed to be here with you again and looking forward to hearing what I have to say about whatever the topic is. We're calling it What's Next? The Ultimate Hallway. And if you've been coming for a few weeks, you've been hearing an awful lot about hallways, haven't you? Right? You've been hearing it about a title in a book, and we've been talking about it, and you may not even realize what a hallway is. So it's about when we go through change, any kind of change. So I'm not just talking about maybe the death of a loved one or a divorce or the loss of a job. I'm also speaking about beginning a new job, starting a new relationship. All of these things, there are transitions that take place. And we go through these changes, and if you're anything like me, sometimes we're very graceful in walking through them. Other times, not so much, right? So I found this book a few years ago. Reverend Ellen Davenport, who is a Unity minister, wrote the book, Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door. And if anybody knows anything about me, they all know that I pick my classes based on titles. Didn't even read the book, and I'm like, yep, I want to do that one. I want to do that one. Hell in the hallway, light at the door. Here's a quote from, I don't know, I think it's the back cover of the book. When one door closes, another one opens, but it can be hell in the hallway. Right? Can you relate to that at all? So I was going to start this talk by saying to you, okay, is there anybody here who's ever experienced change? However, I didn't start that way because after the last 2+ years that we have been through, there is not a person on this planet that can say they haven't experienced some sort of change. What your reaction to it is a whole other story. But right now, we've all been going through change. We're still going through change, and it's big stuff. Because it's not just the pandemic we've been dealing with, is it? We've been dealing with a lot of other things. We've been dealing with world news that is not positive. We've been dealing with stories about social injustice, all sorts of things going on in this country. So it feels at times, to me anyway, that there is so much chaos going on. And I can't help but sometimes internalize that, which is not a healthy thing to do, by the way, so don't follow my example. But we internalize it sometimes. And then there's chaos within me. So it's chaos within, it's chaos without, and then what? This book has helped me. I read it back in 2018 or so. I did a book study with a group of people in a Unity church down in Fort Myers. It was wonderful. And then I brought it to a group of friends of mine who are in recovery from various things, from addiction and to lots of different things. And we did it as a book study in a local cafe, and it was a tremendous experience. Now we're going to do it here at Unity of Greater Hartford. And we're going to do it on Zoom, so that maybe a couple of my friends of mine from maybe Florida or maybe over in Massachusetts or somewhere else, they can join us, I'm hoping. Right? So what is the hallway? It's a definite door closing, an unmistakable shift in circumstances. It inevitably calls you higher. Life as we know it has ended, and we're not sure what's coming next. Does that describe an experience you've ever had? You may be having it now. Can you relate? Has it been? These are big words, my friends. Unmistakable shift in circumstances, inevitably calling you higher. Now, does that mean we automatically go higher? Not necessarily, right? Sometimes our initial reactions don't always appear to look like we're going higher, taking the high road. But that's okay. We're doing the best we can every single day with the information we have. If you read the book, come to the book study, we'll go a little bit deeper into these things. But that's what a hallway is. There's lots of different hallways, right? There's death, there's a divorce, there's illness, there's job loss, there's retirement, there's empty nest hallways. Right? What is life going to look like now that fill in the blank has happened? What is it going to look like? When I wandered into a Unity church in December of 2009, life did not look like I was going to be here a few years later. Let me just share that with you right now. No expectation of that. I was feeling hurt. I was feeling broken. I had just gone through a horrific divorce. I felt like I was unworthy. I didn't feel like I was enough, and that I didn't feel like I was ever going to be enough. And I wander into this church in Unity, and I feel like I'm at home, and I'm crying during the service. And then at the end of the service, I meet this minister who happens to be Jim Rosemurgy. If you have been in Unity for a little while, you know that Jim is a Unity minister and has written many, many books. I didn't know what my life was going to look like when I was in that hallway after that divorce. Had no idea. And if you had given me a blank slate and said, okay, now fill it out, tell us what it's going to be, what do you want to have happen, this would not have been it. And yet I stand here before you today. I am the ministerial intern. I'm scheduled to be ordained here on June 26th. How exciting. It's going to happen, but that would not have been on that slate of paper. Definitely not. There's also inner hallways that Ellen Davenport brings up. She talks about inner hallways as in divine restlessness. Is there anyone here who's experienced that? Because I have. It is one of the most uncomfortable feelings I have ever had. I don't know if it's uncomfortable for you, if it was that way for you. Maybe not. Not everybody's the same. But when I was going through my search, when I was questioning everything I believed before I found this unity way of living, I was really feeling upside down. Some days I would feel really solid in my belief in God and Jesus and all of that, and other days I would feel completely abandoned. That inner restlessness is very uncomfortable, and yet it doesn't have to be permanent, right? We do find our way if we open our minds and we open our hearts. It's possible. There's also what feels like endless hallways, right? I'm just going to let you take your imagination wherever you want it to go to be in that endless hallway. It can feel that way, but nothing lasts forever. Can we agree on that? Yeah. Change is the only thing that's constant in our world, right? So it's not going to be endless, but boy, when you're feeling like it's going to be endless, it can weigh on you. We'll talk about some of that. Why does this keep happening? Yes, I've asked myself that question many, many times. I found out I was the common denominator, but that's for another conversation. So, okay. And there are group hallways. Group hallways, right? We're all in the hallway together. One of the best parts of this book, and I'm going to share it now because it just made me chuckle. There's a part in the book where she says, "Don't decorate your hallway." In other words, don't get too comfortable in the hallway, folks, because that other door is going to open, and if you get too comfortable, you're going to miss that door that just opened for you. So, and I related to that a little bit. I got it, because the one thing I'm looking for is stability, right? I want to know the answers. I want to take care of everything. I want to check off the box, and I want to move on. That's my personality. But that isn't always the way life works, right? Okay. What's this got to do with Sunday morning? What's this got to do with God? Last week we just celebrated Easter, right? We celebrated the resurrection of Jesus. Think about the apostles for just a moment. I want you to think about, what if you were one of the 12 and you'd been hanging out with this really cool guy. He's been teaching for about 3 years, and he's really radical, right? He's talking about loving thy neighbor. He's talking about doing things in a completely different way from the way you've ever heard before. And then he's taken from you, arrested, beaten, and killed. Would that be a hallway? 2 days later, he's killed on a Friday. Sunday morning, they find out he's not there. He's not in the tomb. Different hallway? Maybe. Oh, and then he appears to them. Remember the story in the Bible about doubting Thomas? I remember hearing that growing up all the time. Don't be a doubting Thomas, Kathleen. Hearing about, when I see it, I'll believe it, kind of a thing. And he saw it, and he believed it, according to the Bible story. So now another hallway, right? Because after that, the story goes on to say Jesus ascends into heaven. How many hallways have I just described for these poor 12 people that have spent 3 years with a magnificent teacher? And that's why I'm calling it the ultimate hallway, because there's all these little pieces to it. Right? And the beauty of looking at the stories in the Bible is this. We put ourselves into position to imagine what it would be like to be one of those apostles, to actually witness what they probably felt was unfair, what they felt was, unjust. He didn't do anything wrong. Why are you taking him? Why are you blaming him for this? Right? And all the turmoil that goes with it. What a hallway to be in. Now, I'm going to guess at this, but I'm pretty sure that on Friday evening, after they took him off the cross and put him in the tomb, I'm pretty sure that those apostles did not go home and say, you know what, it's okay because he's going to be back in a couple of days, right? I don't think that's how the story went. The ultimate hallway. I often take the stories in the Bible and put myself into different characters, right? If it's a story about Jesus and Peter and John, the apostles, it's a story like that, I try to think of what it would be like to be Peter, to be John, to be Jesus. It's a story about the transfiguration, maybe, Elijah appears to them, and Moses, what would it be like to be appearing to them? I love to do that kind of stuff. It's just, you take that power of imagination that we all have and just put myself in there and think about it. So I invite you now this week, think about what it could have been like if you were an apostle and you were there and you walked through all of that. What would you be feeling? Upside down, probably, right? Terrified, maybe. Scared isn't even a strong enough word, but definitely scared, but maybe terrified. Who knows? Right? So come back to present day, right? Your minds have gone a little bit to what would it have felt like back then. Now come back to here. The details, the specifics are different of how we get to a hallway, okay? But the spiritual challenge is the same. How do we learn to carry this challenge with greater strength, renewed confidence? How do we do that? You have to read the book. Or come to the class, right? How can we do that? Now, there's lots of ways to do it. There's lots of ways, and many of you have found ways to walk through your hallways, yes, right? It's not like you've been in your hallway waiting for this book to show up, right? We've all been through our hallways, and that's what we're going to gather together and go deeper into. How did you get out of your hallway? How did you do it? What did you, oh, I didn't even think about that, right? Sharing. In unity, we believe in oneness. In unity, we believe that we're all connected, right? My best example of this, I always use this all of the time, is when you think of someone that you haven't talked to for a while and all of a sudden your phone rings, right? That's a demonstration of there's that oneness, that vibe is going on between the two of you, and that connection happens. There's lots of little coincidences that happen, and by the way, there are no coincidences, but, right, they seem to be like, wow, that just happened out of the blue. We're connected. And that's how we get through these hallways. That's how we get through these challenges and move into the next blessing. There is a blessing in everything that happens. I don't always see it right away. Especially when you're talking about the death of a loved one, right? When you're experiencing someone going through a terrible illness, etc., we don't see a blessing right away. And there's no reason to beat yourself up about that either, right? We're having a human experience. But there is a blessing, there is a lesson in everything. Some of you know that I'm going through a job change. And this week will be my last week at one job, and I'll be starting my new job on May 2nd. And I'm very excited about that. But you know, when I was looking for a new job, that hallway was not pretty. I did not decorate it, but it was uncomfortable, right? Because what I was doing is I would, go online and I would apply for 3 jobs. Click, 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 send, right? And then somebody would call me back and they'd schedule an interview and I'd have what I thought was a great interview and they'd say, okay, we'll get back to you in a couple of days. And I'm still waiting, right? You know what I do in my hallway? I make up stories. Do you make up stories about why things happen? They didn't like me. I shouldn't have worn that red top during that Zoom interview. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, they don't like my sense of humor. They think I'm not serious enough, or they think I'm too serious, or whatever. I make up, I'm too old. That was a big one. I'm too old. They want the younger ones at the cheaper price, that kind of thing, right? You know what was really happening? I was getting to observe myself. I was getting to see what I was going through in that particular hallway. And I didn't always like it. But I didn't beat myself up. I've learned not to do that. That does not help anything. By the way, I was really good at beating myself up. Star pupil here. But it doesn't help, right? I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming. So are you. So as we're in the hallway, we see these things happening and we're going, I don't really want to be that way anymore. I don't like being like that anymore. And I can change it. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, I hit send on a Tuesday, got a call 20 minutes later to interview on Wednesday, interviewed on Wednesday, got called 20 minutes after that interview ended and said, can you do a second interview tomorrow? Yes. Interviewed tomorrow, which was Thursday, and got the phone call on Friday with the job offer, right? It doesn't work that way for everybody. I get that. It doesn't always. But in my particular story for this particular time around, that's how it happened. As soon as I let go of the outcome and just rested into, you know what, whoever gets me is going to be so blessed. Really, they are going to be so lucky that not only do they get a good bookkeeper, but they get one with a smile on her face. They get one with a good attitude, right? Breath of fresh air, that's always my goal. Yeah. But the hallway is uncomfortable. Sometimes. Often it's because I make it that way. Not always, my friends. When I make statements like that, I don't mean 100% of the time. We're looking for healing in some cases, finding a path apart from perceptions and criticisms of others. We've distanced ourselves from the doubt, anxiety, and toxicity of these ideas that pop up for us while we're in the hallway. You ready to do that? Are you ready to get rid of that kind of stuff? That garbage, we don't need it, right? There's no quick fix to this. Time in the hallway is never a waste of time. She makes a point of that in the book. It's never a waste of time. There is a reason. We don't always see it right away. When we do this class, we're going to do, it's only 4 weeks, so we got to pack a lot of information in there, right? So we're going to do, the book is broken into 3 parts. So week 1, I'm going to do part 1. Week 2, I'm going to do part 2. And week 3, we're going to do part 3. We'll get through as much as we can, and the rest will be up to you. You'll be invited to ask questions. You'll be invited to share your experiences. We're going to have a great time. So I want to tell you something about my classes. Okay. I just moved this, sorry. I want to tell you something about my classes. This is very, very important. If you do not have the book, if you do not read the book, you darn well better come anyway. There is not one person that will feel out of place because you didn't do something. Okay? You can't do this wrong. Let me say that again. You can't do this wrong. Even if you only come for 1 out of 4 weeks. Join us, join the conversation, be a part of it, because that's how we all grow together. And that's the goal, right? We just want to grow together. I just want to be a little better today than I was yesterday, right? And just make a little bit of improvement. We're not going to compare ourselves to each other because we don't have all the facts. We're just going to spend some joyful, sacred time together, and we're going to have a topic, and we'll see where it takes us. There are 5 chambers in the hallway. Acceptance is number 1. Surrender, forgiveness, prayer, and design. I'm going to say that again. Acceptance, that's a big one. Acceptance does not mean that I approve of something, by the way. Acceptance means I accept that something is happening. It's not about whether I like it or not. Then there is surrender, then forgiveness, prayer, and design. Now, because we're at Unity of Greater Hartford, we all know one thing. We're going to take the prayer. That goes first. Yeah. Yes? Prayer first? Yes? But that is a part of the chambers in the hallway. We're going to have a great time. It's a wonderful book. Even if you can't come to the class, read the book. Get it. Dive into it. Look at it. It's amazing. Life has felt very difficult for many of us over these last 2+ years. Would you say that's true? I'm not saying all, but for most of us, we've felt a burden, and we've done our absolute best to get through it. And you know, we've gotten through it so far because we're here, right? We're holding each other up, whether we're at home on Facebook or on the website, and we're holding each other up with emojis, or we're holding each other up here. Whatever it is, we're walking through it together. We're moving through it together. Think about the ultimate hallway that the apostles went through. It must have been unbelievable. And it must have been so uncomfortable. And it must have been so amazing that in the end, they felt the calling to carry the message forth. That's what I get out of it. You'll get what you get, and then join us starting May 2nd for a couple of hours, hour and a half each Monday night for 4 weeks in a row. And thank you for allowing me this opportunity. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Kathleen. Decorating the hallway, there's been the problem. Carolyn is now going to sing the peace song while we participate by singing along, and then together we will say our prayer for protection, followed by a final song by Carolyn.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank Thank you, Carolyn. And now please join me for our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
All right. So I want to say thank you to all of our prayer chaplains for holding us in sacred space and in prayer. We have 2 prayer chaplains in the sanctuary today that are ready, able, and willing to pray with you, and they are Lee and Jolene. If you would stand so we could see you. Thank you. They will remain in the sanctuary today after everyone leaves to pray with you one-on-one. So if you would like to have prayers of joy, prayers of sorrow, prayers of whatever the prayer is, just walk up to the prayer chaplains and say, will you pray with me? And they'll take it from there. You may also email your prayer request to prayerrequest@unityhartford.org. And prayer first, can you tell we're prayer first here at Unity? In the sanctuary, in the pews in front of you, there are prayer cards. So you can fill out, thank you, Kat, you can put the name of the person, you can put the situation, and then circle what you would like prayer for the prayer chaplains to hold in prayer. We keep those prayers, and I say we, I'm a prayer chaplain, we hold those prayers in our heart and in the highest light for 30 days here in Unity. And then we send them on to Silent Unity, who also holds that prayer in the highest light for another 30 days. So there were a lot of people here who helped with today's service. So I want to thank all of you, including our guest speaker, Kathleen Kerswig. Woo! Our worship assistant, Kirk Smallage, last minute. The live stream team, Jim, Angela, and Marty, Yahoo! Our greeters, Gail and Maria, our ushers, Bonnie and Liston, and for the hospitality crew, Marty, Angela, Jocelyn, everyone, Georgine is helping with hospitality, and thank you. And thank you for anyone who can stay and help clean up at the end. Now, if there's anyone here for the first time, we would like to give you some information about this Unity Church and the Unity movement. So if you're here for the first time, could you raise your hand? No? Okay. If you are online and this is your first time watching us and you would like to get some information, please send an email to officemgr@unityhartford.org, include your name and your home address, and we will mail you a packet of information. But we want to thank everyone for honoring us with your presence today. You are a blessing. We do ask that when the service is over and Carolyn's song has ended, that you leave the sanctuary as quietly as you can and go join us in the community room for laughter and conversation and goodies. But the prayer chaplains would like to have some peace when they pray, so if we can do that to honor them, that would be great. And remember, if you want to light a candle at the end, and at the end of the service to hold someone in prayer. It's a beautiful station over there. It feels wonderful. I did this morning to stand there and light a candle for someone. We will be setting up at noon for the 5:30 memorial concert and service this afternoon. Many thanks to the fabulous Carolyn Fisher. So Carolyn, what is our closing song today?
All right, well, this is a song by the Traveling Wilburys, and it's called The End of the Line. And I think it's, it's fun, and it's about giving yourself some space to be all right. Well, it's all right, riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right, live the life you please. Well, it's all right, doing the best you can, well, it's all right. As long as you lend a hand, you can sit around and wait for the phone to ring, waiting for someone to tell you everything. Sit around and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Maybe a diamond ring. Well, it's all right. Even if they say you're wrong, well, it's all right. Sometimes you gotta be strong, well, it's all right. As long as you got someone to lay, well, it's all right. Every day's Judgment Day. Maybe somewhere down the road a ways at the end of the line, you think of me, wonder where I am these days at the end of the line. Maybe somewhere down the road where someone plays Purple Haze. Well, it's all right. Even when push comes to shove, well, it's all right. If you got someone to love, well, it's all right. Everything will work out fine, well, it's all right. We're going to the end of the line. Don't have to be ashamed of the car I drive. I'm just glad to be here, happy to be alive. It don't matter if you're by my side, I'm satisfied. It's all right. Even if you're old and gray, well, it's all right. You still got something to say, well, it's all right. Remember to live and let live, well, it's all right. The best you can do is forgive, well, it's all right. Riding around on the breeze, well, it's all right. If you live the life that you please, well, it's all right. Even if the sun don't shine, well, it's all right. We're going to the end of the line. We're going to the end of the line. All right. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us today. We are honored by your presence. We hope that you'll join us on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook for our meditation service. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday right back here in the sanctuary or on our website at 10:30 a.m. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you soon.